Hello and welcome to ESPN Cricket Info Match Day in association with our technology partner Vivo. It is day 4 of the Asia Cup. It's the 4th game and we've seen 5 of the 6 participating teams already on display. The one team that we haven't, we're going to get to see them today. That is one of the tournament favorites in India. I'm Nikhil Raj, joining me Ajit Agarkar. They're up against Hong Kong, a team that doesn't have ODI status at the moment. Would it be fair to say probably the Dubai Heat would be a bigger challenge than Hong Kong itself?
Looks like it, at least for the guys who've been in UK for the last 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah.
I think the other guys who were part of the one day squad have been there for a few days. I think we heard Ravi Shastri say that they've been there. Yeah, maybe the first game kind of feels a little bit different, but once you get through that game, you start feeling okay with the conditions. It is what it is. You've got to handle it. Fortunately, India start with a game which they should comfortably win, at least on paper.
All right, the toss is about to happen. We'll have the teams up quickly. What would you do and what sort of an approach would you rather have for the team? Play a second string team, not because it's Hong Kong, but it's also because back-to-back games there, or go the full hog there?
Yeah, it's a strange one. Back-to-back game. I haven't heard that maybe since the time I made my debut. I think that's way back. I'm not sure what.
Would you have revolted if you were a player?
I don't think the bowlers are looking forward to getting out in the heat twice if they have to. But look, I'm not sure whether who would you rotate. Maybe a Bumrah who's had a heavy workload. You'll have to look at the bowlers, isn't it? I don't think the batsman would mind playing 2 days in a row. It's the bowlers. I mean, Bumrah and there's nobody else really. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar hasn't played for a while. He's been carrying an injury, played a couple of India A games if I'm not wrong. So he would need a bit of cricket. I think this is an ideal game to play before the big Pakistan game for him. So even if it's back to back, I think having had such a long layoff, I'm sure he'd want to play those 2 games. Apart from that, I think you still have to play your best team. Bumrah is the only guy you'd want to rest, in my opinion. I can't see any other guys that India would want to rest.
Okay, talking about bowlers, you said they wouldn't want to be bowling 2 back-to-back games. The only positive for them to look forward to now is Hong Kong have won the toss, decided to bowl, so at least when they come out to bat, conditions would be a little cooler, at least for the Indian bowlers. Which is surprised a bit that Hong Kong would do that. I mean, usually you see the associate teams rather bat first. I mean, chasing wouldn't be that easy.
I mean, the one thing that you notice every time there's a new team on the international scene, that it's their batting which struggles. Bowling, fielding. You obviously get more opportunities bowling wise. So you try and you're at least a decent level. Batting is where they struggled first game. Probably thought it's better to know what the target is and maybe approach it that way. Maybe put India under a little bit of pressure first up who are not quite sure of the conditions, looked on the slower side from what we've seen all these games. Look, it's one of those things. They didn't do well batting first, so they've opted to field first. I mean, the tosses have gone their way. It's a mountain to climb for them. And you can understand that. But like I said, they probably want a target that they can see, and maybe their batsmen might be comfortable doing that instead of setting one.
Pretty much their last game in the tournament, at least they would have approached it this way. So, try and do everything, as you say, possible. If you were the Indian team, and Rohit's mentioned that as well, that he's looking to fix a few areas. Are you yourself excited to see those little areas that need fixing? This could be the game that gives you an idea?
It starts now, I think. I think there's, time's running out very quickly. That World Cup, because there's a few tests to be played along the way as well. So the World Cup and an IPL. So there's very little time that you'll suddenly realize that the World Cup's upon you. So the number 4 slot has been spoken about for 5 years now, and still hasn't been fixed. So that seems the obvious one. With Virat not being there, at least you've got 2 spots now where you can try guys at 3 and 4, where you would probably know if they are likely to make that eventual 15. So that's an obvious thing. I think the bowling looks in pretty good shape at this point. The Shami or Umesh have missed out from this 15 as well. So the bench strength, even the fast bowling is not too bad. The 2 wrist spinners have kept Ashwin and Jadeja out of the squad for a long time. So that looks good. I think it's that middle order which India needs to sort out, or at least be sure of who those 2 or 3 guys are that they want to take to that World Cup.
All right, it's not just about fixing that team, as you were saying, and looking at those slots that need to be filled, who would be the permanent members in those slots. The Indian team also haven't played in the Middle East for a very long time, so it's also an opportunity, this particular match, for the Indian team to get used to the conditions. This is what skipper Rohit Sharma had to say before this game.
Okay. Yeah. See, right now we are not focusing on Pakistan because tomorrow we are playing Hong Kong. So obviously we have to focus on that particular team. But once we finish that game, obviously we'll look at Pakistan, what their strengths and weaknesses are. But see, even for us, we haven't played here. The last time all these guys played here was during IPL 2014. It's been a long time since we've played at this particular venue. So tomorrow is a perfect chance for us to assess the conditions, wickets, the dimension of the grounds, and all those kind of things. Because it is important that you understand all of that and take it into your game.
All right, in news coming in, as we mentioned earlier, India would be batting first. That's because Hong Kong have won the toss, decided to field. The other thing is you're going to have a debutant in Khalil Ahmed there for India, the left-arm fast bowler that they've got. And Rohit Sharma, pretty excited to see him bowl, as all of us are. This is what he had to say about that young pacer.
Yeah, see, I'm quite excited about Khalil. He's, of course, he's a great variation to the squad. But also, he generates quite a bit of pace. He's young, quite talented, and can swing the ball as well at the same time. So I'm quite excited of his addition to the squad. Yes, I'm looking forward to him play and do well for the country. From whatever I've seen of him, he can get batsmen into trouble. I can surely say that. He's got great skill set. It's just a matter of going out there and doing it. Of course, he's not played any games, so he'll be quite nervous. But again, he's got all the tools that is required to play at the highest level.
Okay, Khalil Ahmed there making his debut for India. Ajit, for some it may have come as a surprise, but we should have known. When the captain says a day before the game he's excited with his bowler, he would have played. You excited too to watch him?
Yeah, very much. Left arm offers you that variation that you need. You've seen in Pakistan. I think they are going to the other side. They have more left armers and the right armers. But offers you. Look, it's a good time. He's quite fortunate that there are 2 back-to-back games that Bumrah's been rested. So good time to play him as well. Ease him into international cricket. Saw him 2-3 years back, maybe a little bit more in Bangladesh. I think if the under-19s were playing and looked promising then. Played a couple of IPL games. Seems to have a bit about him. A little deceptive with his speed as well. Rohit mentioned swing. I don't know how much swing he's going to get here. Might get some reverse swing later on in those conditions, but. Yeah, excited always to see a new fast bowler.
Even reverse swing might be tough there. We looked at the pitch, it just looked like so flat. There's no roughness there at all. Looked like a cement pitch in Dubai that we've seen. Probably in Abu Dhabi, different conditions there. But we're talking about Khalil Ahmed, and this is how he's been performing. And this is on the dint of performances like these that he's made it to the Indian team. And there you have it. This is his List A career. 17 matches, 28 wickets with an average of 22.50. Look at that economy there. That's impressive as well in such a short span. And we're not looking the under 19 career, but Ajit, he's just had a very short List A career and really impressed in that much time to be fast forwarded into the international team now.
Yeah, I mean anyone who has that kind of strike rate, 17 games, 28 wickets, one day cricket has gotten harder on the bowlers, and I know it's List A cricket and a lot of cricket for India A, but it has become a lot harder with the rules, with 5 fielders in the ring. So you need more attacking options. The more wickets you take as a bowler, it becomes a little bit easier to stop the runs. I don't think there's any other alternative anymore to stop the runs. With 2 new white balls, which again reverse swing is a lot more difficult than it was in the past. So that sort of numbers, though, that average and the economy to go with it. If he can replicate that here, I think he'll soon find himself a permanent member.
Right. It's lovely to see a youngster making a debut. The other bit is, as we were saying, Jasprit Bumrah there being rested. Now, there are 2 schools of thought there saying that, he's just coming back after playing red ball cricket, different conditions, may have used him versus Hong Kong, because then the big game is coming up. Which side are you on? You rather rest him because these would be conditions he'd be used to? Or
I don't think you'd need to worry about what Bumrah brings to the table. I think we've seen how quickly he's adjusted to Test cricket when he's gone there with a completely different ball. No, I mean his skill sets for limited overs cricket, probably he's got to be in the top 3 in the world at this point.
Yeah.
So no, he needs a break, plus get used to the heat a little bit. Could have a couple of net sessions. I think Bumrah should be good enough. I think he's got
Okay.
experience on his side, so right call.
Okay, interesting. Now, this is what we were looking forward to. What is that India playing 11? Those were our talking points. And here you have it. This is the team that India has gone in. We already mentioned Khalil Ahmed for you. The two spinners, no surprise there, in Kuldeep and Yuzvendra. Bhuvneshwar Kumar also, because he's been out with injury, would be rather fresh playing here. Shardul Thakur is the other fast bowler that they've gone with. Kedar Jadhav is your all-rounder of sorts. MS Dhoni, Dinesh Karthik, Ambati Rayudu, Shikhar Dhawan, Rohit Sharma. Okay, Ajit, I'll quickly come now. Plenty of things to talk about. No Hardik Pandya there. Also, another reason could be the same thing that we were talking about. Bumrah just coming off a long tour, so rest him a bit.
Yeah, possibly. Didn't play that last test though.
Yeah.
So I'm not, again, it's probably trying out different combinations, and maybe in these conditions, Kedar Jadhav better fit as an all-rounder, whatever overs he can give you. Yeah, still KL Rahul,
You would have
another
played
of Virat's favourite, is not
Yeah.
here as soon as Virat's at home. So, no,
You would have played Pandya because he had that rest in the last match.
No, I think that's if you've taken Kedar Jadhav or Ambati Rayudu, you'd rather give them those opportunities. I think Dinesh Karthik is a little bit of a surprise, but I can understand he played number 4 in that last game in England. Didn't get many, but at least you've stuck to a guy. You've got to give a guy 3 or 4 or 5 opportunities at the same spot to see if Dinesh Karthik's not my pick for that number 4 spot going forward. But if you've played him in the previous game, then you'd rather give him another opportunity.
Okay, I'll get to Dinesh Karthik as well. Just staying with Hardik Pandya, the option could have been, if you were not playing him, someone would have thought that Akshar Patel could have been the option, because looking at the condition, even 4 spinners wouldn't have been bad. You would have used a lot of spinners.
But no, with these sorts of rules, with 5 fielders in the ring, unless it's a minefield where the ball is going to spin from
Oh, no,
ball
which-
one,
which
it's a
hasn't
good
been the
pitch.
case.
Yeah,
Which
you need
hasn't.
three seam bowlers. The interesting part about Hardik Pandya is basically even a new captain doesn't think he's your third seamer, unless they want to try three genuine seamers and give Shardul Thakur a go as well. He still doesn't fit as your third seamer. I mean, that's the thing that he'll have to improve going forward. We know he can tong the ball in one-day cricket, but it's his bowling. He seems to be or had been the third seamer, but they were possibly want 3
Okay.
genuine quicks and Kedar Jadhav to fill in that 6 bowlers role.
You speak about KL Rahul missing out. Now, what do you put that down to? Because the captain has changed? Is that so? Or because you know that he's in good form, you rest him in this game and he's a certainty to play Pakistan? Is that?
Well, he's had one good innings, cracking innings, but one good innings. No, I think at least they've made a statement saying he's the third opener, which is how they should be going, not fitting him wherever the numbers available. And I'm glad they've played a genuine number 3 batsman, or even whether it's Rayudu or a Manish Pandey or whoever you think.
Or Virat
at number
when he
3,
comes back,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean Virat once he comes back is going to be at number 3. So I think that's the way to go. You can't say that one day Rahul's a number 4, one day is a number 3, otherwise he's your third opener. Whether he's your third opener, then he should try and fight for that opening spot, and these other guys need to fight for the other spots. So I think it's the right call. As much as that innings will be in everyone's mind, that last innings in the test match, but he's got to play as an opener for me.
Okay, the other one that we're really looking forward to seeing is Ambati Rayudu. Bit of controversy, couldn't make it earlier to the team, missed that yo-yo test, but now that he's back, I mean, look at those numbers. He is averaging, this is an ODI cricket, over 50. That is, impressive to say the least. 1,000 runs he's got there, a great strike rate too. Ajit, if he shows half the form that he showed in the quadrangular recently, or even in the form that he showed in the IPL, he's going to be your go-to man in the batting then.
Yeah, I mean those numbers can be a bit misleading. I think he's played a few against Zimbabwe in
Yes,
and in that time. So, but it's a great opportunity. I mean, you can't ask for a better opportunity than this after being left out because of failing a fitness test, and then coming back and showing good form in India. So, number 3, you can't ask for anything better in one-day cricket these days. And he knows Virat Kohli is going to come back at that spot. So he needs to get runs in these 2 games. Look, he's experienced enough. He's IPL, he consistently performs, and he's been around for a while. So Nerve shouldn't be a problem as much as he's coming back into the team. Ideal game to start, and at number 3, couldn't have asked for a better spot.
Oh, as you mentioned, the one issue with him was always consistency. Always had those flashes of brilliance, but then would taper off from there on. I know the real test would be now to see his consistency, but just going back from the IPL, then going on to this quadrangular that he was playing, if ever there was a consistent patch, he's in it, would you say?
Yeah, look, I think domestically he's got runs for a few years now. I think it's tough when you are fighting for one spot. There are so many other contenders, and Indian middle order generally has been quite stable. There's been Raina around, or there's been a Yuvraj around. So there's never been a consistent patch where he could have got, say, 8 or 10 opportunities. So it's understandable, but this is a real chance because they are looking for that one particular player, whether it's a number 4 or number 5 or could be number 6 going forward. But there is that one spot clearly available, and you'd rather be in good form going and playing for India than not.
Okay, interesting you mentioned slot number 4, slot number 6, because those are those particular slots for which even Rohit Sharma is looking for answers, and this is what he said on the eve of the match.
See, I can't give you who's going to bat where, but of course there are a lot of spots up for grabs. Number 3, 4, 6. All those positions are up for grabs, and all these guys are eyeing for that. But again, we got to see. I have to go back and see what the best combination can be for this particular series. But obviously we want to give chances to as many guys as possible, making sure that that number 4 and 6 spot is sealed. We want to do that, and as a team we are very much looking forward to that, and I'm sure all those guys who are eyeing for that spot are hungry, and they want to do well and grab that positions.
Right, grab that position is what Rohit Sharma is saying, telling his team to make the most of this opportunity. Now, since number 4 and number 6 is what we're looking at, this is most runs for India at number 4. You've got Yuvraj Singh right on top. This is from 2016 onwards. In those 9 innings, he got those many runs for you. You got Ajinkya Rahane, not even here, part of the squad. So the only one we can really talk about is the Manish Pandey. You've got Karthik and MS Dhoni. Who would be your number 4, Ajit, in the choices available?
Thank God I don't have to make the call. The only thing I'd say is, whoever you decide on number 4 has to go and bat about 4 or 5 or 6 innings at that spot. I think we've seen in recent times there have been far too many chopping and change. You take England for example. Dinesh Karthik batted at number 4 in the last game after Rahul had not done too much wrong. He was not out in the first game, didn't get too many in the second game, was dropped for the third game. You're never going to find an ideal player for a particular spot, especially in the top 4, if you don't give him enough opportunities. If you think a guy is good, even if it's a MS Dhoni, if you decide to bat him at number 4 in this tournament, then going forward he should be on number 4, not suddenly two series down the line change somebody else. So I think over the last, and I know it's a tough thing to do because if the guy doesn't get runs, you want to try and see if there's another option, but that should be the case after a few opportunities have been given to that particular player.
Okay, let me ask you, according to you, who's number 4? Because, interesting you mentioned, everyone I'm listening to says bat MSD at number 4, but the interesting point you make is, if you're going to go forward, he's not going to be a number 4 for very long.
Now you're looking at the World Cup. I think now that they've made the decision to have certain players, now you're looking at the World Cup. Is MS going to bat for you number 4 at the World Cup? Then fair enough, then start batting him at number 4. If he's not, then give the guys, 1 or 2 guys who you think. Shreyas Iyer is a curious case for me. Shreyas Iyer was in the squad for England and doesn't find himself in the 15 here. So I'm not sure what's gone wrong between England and here in a couple months that he doesn't find a spot. So, if he was there in the squad, he was one of your candidates who you could have tried at number 4. Raidu looks like Raidu is probably the front runner at this point, who's batting number 3 because Virat's not there. But there's always an opportunity to drop down at number 4. Dinesh Karthik, I don't think he won't be my first pick. Unless he shows great form over the next few games, he's, in my opinion, is very lucky. 2020 form is different. You're looking at one-day cricket here and not 2020. I think let's leave performances in 2020 aside. You need to find guys who are good for one-day cricket.
Okay, in fact, getting a lot of comments there from viewers who are watching. Also, a lot of them surprised that Dinesh Karthik has made the cut batting in that middle order for India. Of course, this is also a game against Hong Kong, probably the Indian team looking for various answers, putting those players under some sort of a scanner to see how they come out and perform. Number 6 is the other batting slot that they are looking for answers, and this is most runs for India at number 6 in ODI since 2016 once again. MS Dhoni at number 6 is right on top. Of course, has got the most innings. Kedar Jadhav, Manish Pandey, Ravindra Jadeja is there, and Hardik Pandya. This is interesting. Dhoni at 6 seems better than Dhoni at 4.
But you look at his strike rate. That's been the problem
Yeah.
in recent times with MS. I think that's
Yet
why
the best amongst that
everyone
list.
keeps talking about his batting position. Yeah. Well, I mean, the strike rate's still not as good as Kedar
would want a
Jadhav.
number 6
I think you
to be,
still,
yeah.
at number 6, you still have a Kedar Jadhav or a Hardik Pandya who can slot in. Hardik Pandya in one-day cricket can, turn a game on its head. Hopefully his bowling keeps improving. Then the captain can actually trust him as his 5th bowler. It's always good to have a 6th bowler these days with the kind of field restrictions that are in play, because 1 or 2 guys are going to have a tough day. So I don't think 6 is such a big worry. I think it's that 4, because if India has thrived in recent times in one-day cricket because the top 3 have done so well. So there's been very little to do for 4, 5, 6. But every time that top 3 doesn't do well, 4, 5, 6 haven't been able to quite get the results that India wants. So 6, at least you have a couple of Kedar Jadhav. Again, we'll find out a bit more about him because, in my opinion, between him and Hardik Pandya should always play ahead of him. It's probably condition specific at the moment that a spinner might be required in these slower conditions, but and also an opportunity to see what he can do. But 6 is not a huge worry for me.
Okay, eventually it may boil down to, the Manish Pandeys, the Raidus and the Kedar Jadhavs in that middle order. Do you think Kedar then has an edge because of the bowling option that he brings with him, especially in conditions where you're playing, right?
Yeah, because you need a 6 bowler at the moment. I mean, you've got Shardul, who's not played a lot of cricket internationally. You've got Khalil Ahmed, who's making his debut. So you need a little bit of cover. Maybe that's why they've gone with Kedar. And again, also, looking to give him an opportunity, but also as a spinner. Maybe that's why Hardik Pandya, also having had a long sort of summer in England, has been given a bit of a break. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't play tomorrow against Pakistan, Hardik. So you need 6 bowlers ideally. Ideally 5 bowlers. It can work on the day, but if you have a 6th option, nothing like it, because unfortunately for India, the top 5, nobody bowls a few overs.
Yeah, in fact, if it was MS Dhoni who was a captain, he'd rather go with 7. He always liked a lot of cover in his bowling lineup. Anyway, Rohit's gone with 6. Let's take a look at the playing 11 of the Hong Kong team as well. Remember, they've already played one match that was against Pakistan, and they're unchanged for this game against India. Nizakat Khan, the only thing I can remember of him is that run out that he got. Anshuman Rath looked really classy in that first match. Babar Hayat is an experienced hand. Kinchit Shah got runs for them. Christopher Carter, he's had a bit of a stop-start sort of a career, not doing that well for them. Scott McKenzie, the keeper there. And then you've got the experienced Nadeem Khan. I think this is his 3rd Asia Cup. So he's been there for a long time. Whatever little we saw of them, Ajit, in that first match, of course, the margin of defeat was massive, but they look like they belong to this stage.
Yeah, I mean, they've done the hard yards and qualified. That's the first thing. You don't get a free spot to play in the Asia Cup. They are always going to find it difficult against the likes of India or Pakistan, and you expect that. You want to see some improvement now going forward. Okay, the bowlers didn't have much of a chance when you're defending 116, but today's another opportunity to see if they can restrict a strong batting to a reasonable total, which then maybe gives the batsman an outside chance to chase that down. So you want to see improvement in you can see Afghanistan, how quickly they've improved over the last 2 or 3 years. If Hong Kong can kind of replicate that, it'll be good for the cricket.
Okay, and it's not been easy for them to reach her. They've knocked out more fancy team in the UAEs, in the Nepals of the world, and then of course they even beat Afghanistan earlier in the year. So this is how Hong Kong reached to the Asia Cup.
If you grew up watching cricket in the 1990s and early noughties, you probably remember the Hong Kong Sixers, an exhibition tournament in which international stars competed in 5-over slugfests. It was, in some ways, a precursor to T20 cricket. Hong Kong played in that tournament, but they were also developing a cricket team that could compete in the full 50-over game. And this year, they managed to beat the likes of UAE and Nepal in the Asia Cup qualifiers to get the opportunity to play Pakistan and India in the main event. While the Sixers tournament is just over 25 years old, Hong Kong's cricket history dates back over 150 years to when they started playing interport matches against nations from across South Asia. It wasn't until 1969 that Hong Kong became an official cricketing nation, recognized as an associate by the ICC. A few appearances at the ICC trophy later, Hong Kong broke out to the big time in 2004 when they qualified for their first ever Asia Cup and played their first one-day internationals against Bangladesh and Pakistan. They made it to a second successive Asia Cup in 2008, but their finest moment on the international stage came when they upset Bangladesh in a World T20 match on their home turf in 2014, a year in which they came close to qualifying for the 2015 World Cup. Although they missed out, their third place finish at the World Cup qualifier guaranteed them ODI status. For the first time in their history, Hong Kong were among cricket's elite, one of only 16 ODI nations in the world. Since then, they've gone up to as high as number 10 in the ICC World T20 rankings and beaten the likes of UAE and Afghanistan in ODIs. However, a bad week at the World Cup qualifier earlier this year meant they lost their hard-earned ODI status. So how does a nation that's just over twice the size of New York City manage to compete on the international stage? Hong Kong has a strong club cricket structure and a youth talent pipeline that leads up to the national side. In recent years, their players have got a chance to rub shoulders with the best in the business through the Hong Kong T20 Blitz, their own 2020 tournament. As expatriate heavy as their current side looks, a number of them, including captain Anshuman Rath, are products of the youth setup, having come through the ranks to make it to the top. And cricket, by all accounts, is among the fastest growing sports in the nation.
Right, it's been an amazing journey for Hong Kong to reach this far. What's really ironic is the fact that just when they qualified for the Asia Cup, they've also lost the ODI status, now playing as an associate country. Ajit, one quick word from you, completely out of time. I can't ask you for a prediction of the game, so predict the score maybe.
Oh, I think India will be happy if they get somewhere in the region of between 275 300. Quite hot, so running will be difficult for the batters, but if these two openers get going, they could get anything.
All right, looking forward to watching that explosive Indian batting lineup come out and bat. Ajit Agarkar, thanks so much for joining us. We'll of course have him back during the lunchtime break. This was ESPN Cricket for Matchday in association with our technology partner Vivo.